Let's learn one of the performance optimization tips for analysis applications in Lumira Designer. So whenever there are complicated dashboards or applications we are building, we while developing our application, it should load quickly. So there is one option available when we are building an application. So in the properties of this application, you will see there is an option which says fast startup enabled. So currently this is set up as false. Let's see means how it makes a difference when it is like this. So I'm just trying to run it. So you will see this how it is just showing the progress bar which shows waiting for backend, and there is nothing much unless there is loading CSS, loading models, and it will show all at once, all the components of the dashboard at the once. So this is when the load of fast startup enabled is false. Then when we make it as true, and just try to run it, then let's see is what is the difference. So when you try to run this with the fast track startup enabled, you will see many things first loaded at before so you will see these are the something which is loaded one by one, and it comes faster than what it it came before. So basically this is something which is doing loading of the components one by one, which are uh, doing means which are required at the first. Let's say means there are some sequence which when we this is implemented, like this property is been set as true, then this happens like the page is loaded and the progress indicator is shown. Then JavaScript code and CSS gets loaded, and it in parallel as well data sources are initialized and loaded. So that will just save the time of loading the JavaScript code and CSS with the data source, and then it will wait for all data to be available. And there are some script which are written on initialization of the events. So like if you say there are some components which says on initialization, on variable initialization. So these are some of the components on variable initialization on startup. So instead of loading it at the start of the application running, it can be delayed by some points, means after loading some other components. So that can be possible with this sequence. So that can be done after loading JavaScript and data source loading. So that will just save some time. Then prompt screen is also event executed, then on startup event is executed, and data is displayed. So on variable initialization happens first, then prompt sequence happens, then uh, on before prompt submit as well. So prompts are one other thing which are also possible, means we are going to display in the on the dashboard. So that happens after variable initialization, and then on startup event, which is here uh, on the event section of the application. So on the startup, so variable initialization happen first, then on startup. So this is then on before prompt submit, this is again another uh, event which is happening. So we can specify some prompts if there are then this also happens almost last, and then finally all the data is displayed on all data bound components, which is like this. So this is the sequence, and sometimes when we are building complex dashboards, it is very useful to set it as for true instead of having for false this property. So it is available in this behavior which is says for startup fast startup enabled as true. So let's make this as true when we wanted to build some complicated dashboard. So this is one trick you can use for optimizing the applications in Lumira Designer. I think this may be helpful for you for your applications. If you have any questions, then please put it in comment section, and if you like my video, then please like it and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you for watching.